On today's show,
Steph Curry is the NBA's first unanimous MVP, but hot take alert here, is he even the best player in the game?
well, he was last night in a jaw-dropping OT performance, and so was this. We'll settle ball stall nomenclature once and for all.
And we'll get you set for tonight's pivotal Game 5 between the Thunder and Spurs.
It's Tuesday, May 10th. The starter starts now.
Good evening, Sweet World, and welcome to the starters. Whether you're listening to the podcast or joining us live on NBA TV or a little bit later on YouTube, we're happy to have you. I'm Jay Skeets, and alongside me, as always, that's Tas Melis.
That guy's changing the game. He's changing the game.
To his right, it's the international man of mystery taking it to the max, Lee Ellis.
Friend.
Lily, and last, certainly not least, over there, starters blog editor, Trey Kirby.
Hey!
TK, what do you got?
Guys, I'm here at the internet looking for your best tweets at #TheStarters, and I don't know if you know this, but Steph Curry is back!
Yeah.
As he said himself last night during a record-setting return in a huge Game 4 win for the Warriors. Steph went for 17 in overtime, a performance so incredible that for maybe the first time ever, Charles Barkley was left speechless.
That was on the same. That was crazy, man. That's unbelievable.
Yeah,
All right, so Chuck settled on crazy and unbelievable, which are certainly true, but those two words are part of a group of terms that are a little too basic to describe Steph Curry. So we're going to help out Chuck here with 7 brand new words for Steph Curry's greatness, and we're going to start with Steph-pendous, which is anytime Steph does something stupendous. Along those same lines, we've got Curry-diculous and Wardleful, which is a play on his real first name and his dad's name. Then we get into the descriptors of his game. A big one for me is rewindability, because I'm always rewinding plays to show people in the house.
Good one.
Similar to that is Vinomite, because he's always doing something Vine-worthy, and you can always comment on his remarksmanship, which is, of course, his remarkable marksmanship. Then we've got one special phrase for today, easy peasy MVPeasy, which is probably how Austin Powers would describe Steph Curry if he had been thawed in 2015 rather than 1997, of course. But we want to hear from you. What are some more new words to describe Steph Curry's greatness? Tweet them to us at #TheStarters, because we got to help Chuck out.
Yeah.
He couldn't even figure it out.
No, he got frozen. up there.
Dumbfounding,
What
really.
is there to say? All right,
Changing the
well,
lexicon, man.
it's Steph Curry's world right now, and we are just living in it. Earlier today, not long ago, Curry named the NBA's most valuable player for the second straight season, and just in case that wasn't impressive enough for you, the Warriors star also became the first unanimous MVP in NBA history. Curry swept all 131 votes, and here he is with his 2 MVPs. He can barely lift them up. They look heavy. You gotta hit the weight room there. He takes it unanimously. Every vote going to him from the 130 sports writers / broadcasters, and 1 from the Kia MVP fan vote. Kawhi Leonard coming in second, LeBron James third. I guess the first question with all of this, were any of you guys surprised that for the first time in NBA history, we have a unanimous winner in this? Were you shocked by that?
Yeah, the fact that it's never happened again, hasn't happened for MJ, hasn't happened for Shaq. So yeah, you never know what's going on in voters' heads, what story they want to write. So it's very, very surprising. I think what sealed it for Curry was the 73 wins.
Yep.
Because if he doesn't get that, I think some writer out there can find an excuse to say, yeah, they were good, but Kawhi might be the best two-way player, or whatever reason.
Yeah.
That being said, he deserved it. And I'm totally shocked, just because it's never happened before.
Yeah, best player on the best regular season team we've ever seen. And also, last year he was the MVP, we know that. And this year he got better than he was last year. So last year I think he did surprise a few people just how good he was, but he didn't sort of rest on that and get comfortable. Instead, he went out and got better. He shot the ball more, he shot the ball at better percentages, and carried his team to a path that we never, ever really expected anyone to get to. I mean, we thought that perhaps 70 wins was on the table at some point for some team, but not 73 to break that 95-96 Bulls record.
You see it there, Steph Curry joining Steve Nash and Magic Johnson as the only point guards in NBA history with multiple MVP awards. It was pretty cool to see Steve Nash there today at the news conference when he was getting his award. Steph Curry there handing over that sort of second one there. I wonder if votes being public now actually even helped the
100%.
unanimous case, because you can't sort of hide behind the mystery of who placed a secret vote for Kawhi or LeBron.
Yeah.
It's out there, it's public. And when you win 73 games and you put up 30 points and the number Steph Curry did, a lot of people would be very, very upset with that particular person had they given that vote to someone else.
I thought that too, but when you look back at the one that Shaq didn't get, it wasn't a local guy, so that usually plays into it. If you're a local guy and you're close to the team, you kind of have to vote for your guy, and that is an issue with it. But for all those people out there who think that Steph Curry is a fad, and there still are people out there, just because he doesn't look like a most valuable player in NBA history, get over it. I mean, the game has changed, the game has moved on. And he's the best at it.
And he's showing other players how to play. You see other guys now trying to shoot the ball like Steph does from 4 or 5 feet behind the three-point line because he makes it look so effortless. But also, that's not just what his game...
Effortless.
Yeah.
Yes. That's not what his game relies on, though, is these sort of crazy highlights. There is so much more substance to his game than just all the flash that we see. And it gives every single player a chance to believe that you can be a dominant player and you don't have to be 6'10" or 6'8" or whatever and a huge athlete. Steph shows that he can just be a fantastic, intelligent player. And he's obviously incredibly talented as well.
As crazy as this sounds, I mean, he's back-to-back MVP award winner here. Is Steph Curry the best player in the NBA right now? If you're building a franchise right this second, do you start with Steph and it's over, or do you look at someone else?
I go Steph at this point right now, but LeBron has made his way into that conversation during this postseason, right? I think what sets Curry above and beyond is something that LeBron does extremely well, and it's his passing. Steph is incredible. We know he can shoot, the dribbling is there, and he can fire from anywhere. But when you take the ball out of his hands, can he still make a team great? Well, yeah, because he can pass. This is an outside-in offense a lot of the time, but they do go through the post. And LeBron James is an inside-out guy. He's shooting in the restricted area more than he ever has in postseasons past. 1 out of every 2 shots is within 3 feet. That's very special. So they're different in that they're inside in, outside in, and inside out, whatever those words are. I feel like Charles Barkley right now. But the fact that he can make it happen at all times is very LeBron-like. They're so similar. And I think that LeBron is sort of starting to emulate Steph, the way he's running his team. It's a 3-point shooting team, and they're spreading the floor. They're unique, but they're sort of similar in a couple different ways.
What do you think?
Yeah, this sort of a question is very hypothetical because you're like, well, would you rather have Steph, the smaller guy who can shoot better from distance, or would you have the bigger guy who, if they were to play one-on-one, obviously LeBron could outmuscle Steph and go inside. Both incredible athletes, but I think Steph is showing where the game is going right now. This is what players want. A guy who can shoot off the dribble like he can. He can also play the 2-guard. You talk about his passing. He actually led the league in secondary assists this year on top of his normal assists.
The hockey assists.
Yeah, which shows that, when he gets double-teamed, he's more than happy to pass off to other teammates and they get open look. So that just shows how it helps his team. But you're not going to go wrong with either one. You could throw Anthony Davis and Kevin Durant and Russell Westbrook,
Leonard,
all those guys into the mix. You're going to have a pretty successful franchise if you have one of those players. But the way that Steph can shoot, I think, does separate him a little bit from those guys because he's got unlimited range.
Steve Nash must have taught him that hockey assist.
Yeah, that's possible. I also think you lean, it's tough, a debate, but you lean towards maybe Curry over the last 2 years because he's super clutch. And we obviously saw that in Game 4 against the Blazers. But during the regular season, he just dominated crunch time minutes. When he was out there, half the time he wasn't even playing the fourth quarter, he averaged 50.4 points per 48 minutes in fourth quarters. And that is the highest rate since the league started tracking that stat in '96. He delivers when his team needs it, and it doesn't help they go 73-9. And he's a part of the 50-45-90 club. Not the 50-40-90 club that a lot of you know out there. 50, 45, and 90. We saw all 3 of them on stage today in Steph, Steve Nash, and Steve Kerr.
And he led the league in scoring, and he broke the 3-point record by over 100. So if he's shooting the ball that well, scoring that many on the best team and ever we've seen in the regular season, very hard to not have him as your MVP.
Yeah, absolutely.
You have to open a club with that name, right? We've got the 50, 45, 90.
Yeah.
Sounds hot.
Steve Club, all
Yeah, the
Steves.
Steves.
Yeah, the Steve, you got to be named Steve to get in. I like it.
Steve.
Well, the timing of this award, being announced, it couldn't really have been any better. As Curry returned to action last night, he drops 40 points in the Game 4 win over the Blazers, 17 coming in overtime. So let's play a little bonus fill in the blank here, Tass. We'll go to you. Curry's overtime performance was what?
It was sparked by NBA referee Scott Foster. And that's not a joke. I love Scott Foster right now. He's my favorite NBA referee right now because he tossed Sean Livingston in the second quarter. Sean Livingston started this game. Steph came off the bench, but because Livingston was gone in the second quarter, Steph had to start that third quarter. Steph did not play well in his 13 first half minutes, not at all.
What a toss by Scotty.
Yeah, he really went after
That's a
it.
slam dunk for the ref.
No doubt.
But he ended up playing 37 minutes, far more than he was expected to. He missed his first 9 threes. He didn't hit a 3 until his 28th minute in this game, only 4.5 minutes left in this game. He was 5 of 14 through 3 quarters. But because Scott Foster tossed him, he got his legs under him, and he played those fourth quarter no team minutes, which he wouldn't have played in that third quarter. It's all Scott Foster, the best NBA referee right now.
Would he get MVP vote if it was during the regular season?
Unbelievable numbers there in fourth quarter and overtime. Again, there's that clutch factor with Curry. 27 after the third quarter, 10 of 14, 5 of 7 from three-point land. I think what's unbelievable, think about yesterday for Steph Curry. He's listed as doubtful in the morning. Then we get a little closer to game time, goes to questionable. Then we find out, okay, he's coming off the bench.
Jersey hanging in the locker.
He's a reserve, and then he ends the night with a 40-point game, which was the most for a guy off the bench since Nick Van Exel way back when he was with the Mavs, and 17, an NBA record 17, regular season playoffs, it doesn't matter, in overtime, in a huge win. Let's not forget about that. The Blazers are putting up one heck of a fight here. They take the Warriors to overtime in Game 4. This would have been a split series. And now it's 3-1, and it sort of does feel like it's over, and we can get to that a little bit later in the show.
This could be Steph's flu game, to be honest. He came in hobbled, hadn't played for a while, and then came through when his team needed it. This is another MJ moment for Steph.
Unbelievable day, and of course last night for Steph Curry there, the back-to-back MVP winner. Congratulations to him and his family, and of course the Warriors organization. We got to take a break. Lots more still to come on the show tonight. We're going to fire up the up-down report to weigh in on exactly what this should be called. So don't go anywhere. Back to the start in a second. Back with the starters into the up-down report, where the four of us figure out where we stand on some recent NBA topics. We asked you to do the same at home. Jump on Twitter, hashtag the starters, thumbs up or thumbs down. First one, guys. Draymond Green, he did not mince words when he was asked about the Blazers' chances in the aftermath of their Game 4 loss to the Warriors on Monday night. Let's have a look.
Now the Blazers have to go down and play in your place in an elimination game. Do you think they're done in the series?
Do I think they're done? Of course I think they're done. If I don't think they're done, then I don't know who else is going to think. I trust my teammates. I trust our team to come out ready to go and, and close this series out. So it's not. Of course I think they're done. It's time for us to close the series.
All right, there it is from Green, up or down.
Oh, yeah.
We already know your answer, up or down on Green's comments about the Blazers' chances.
Yeah, I'm up too.
Everybody.
Yeah.
Nice.
Everybody's up. I thought
it's a
someone
kind
would
of
get angry.
provocative question, and Draymond Green's not the sort of guy who ever shies away from saying what he really wants. I think, great, say it. I mean, if it backfires on him as well, that just provides more fodder. Like when Tracy McGrady used to say stuff like, I'm getting ready for the second round of that. Great ammunition for the Blazers, but it's great for that sort of stuff because it's too vanilla in press
And
conferences.
they have 3 wins, right? The Warriors already do. So basically he's saying, yeah, we're going to win our next game, which is Steph Curry's first home game since April 16th. It's going to be crazy at the Oracle. They're going to be riding that high from Game 4. Of course, he's pretty confident that now that they have their MVP back, who just set a record in overtime, that they can go win one game. I think it's okay.
Green is the mouth that keeps this team going. And Steve Kerr talks about it all the time, that he gives them the edge. He's a huge reason why they get up for every single game, why they were 73-9 this season.
Yep.
That mouth that we heard right there, those type of things. And it hasn't backfired yet, right?
No.
All of these, he's bringing guarantees.
He's backing it up on the court as well.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
And
that's the thing.
He has even said, you're right, Tass, that these type of predictions, they're meant as motivation for his team.
Yeah.
It seems to have worked. They've won a lot of games. I also go by the rule, when you're the defending champs, honestly, you can say whatever you want.
Yeah.
You really, really can. Until someone proves you wrong, you can go out there and afford to be cocky or have that confidence, whatever you want to call it. If you had been if this is the first time in the playoffs and you're saying this, that's a whole different thing. But they're the champs.
Yeah.
They can say this.
You need a vocal guy like this. Steve Kerr has mentioned. Otherwise, on this roster, they're pretty quiet. But they need a mouthpiece, and Draymond's good at it.
Yeah, absolutely is. All right, well, last night, moving on here, about a minute left in overtime between the Raptors and Heat. Dwayne Wade's layup attempt somehow got stuck on the back of the rim. Now, Ian Eagle called it a sitter, and TNT's owner Ernie Johnson a little later referred to it as a pigeon, which a lot of people seem to like. So that brings us to our question here, up or down. Are you guys up or down on pigeon as the name for a ball sitting on the back of the rim like that? Boom. Sorry, Ernie. What?
Why?
What's wrong with that? It's like a pigeon. It floated in there, and it just got to the top of the rim, and it's still. Have you ever seen what a pigeon does?
I have seen what a pigeon does.
Don't worry.
And that's what the ball did on top of it.
I guess so.
We're gonna use pigeon as a term for a ball stall, but not on the back of the rim.
Yeah, you're wrong.
Listen,
You're right.
There are so many phrases out there for when a ball gets stalled on the back of a rim or on top, but we are here to give you the definitive list of ball stalls.
Preach, Tass.
This
preach,
is
man.
it. This is it. From here on out, forever into the ages of ages, when a ball gets stuck between the rim and the backboard, that's a wedgie. When it sits on the heel, that's a ledgie. And when it sits on top of the backboard, it's perched. Apologies, Ernie Johnson. That is a
It's
pigeon.
higher up there, Lee.
That's
yeah,
perch.
it's a pigeon spot.
It needs a perch looking down.
Yeah.
The heel doesn't work.
I used to live on the 17th floor. We got a lot of pigeons. I moved up, went to the 24th floor. We also got pigeons. So pigeons can go to different heights.
You make a good point.
Look, that's a pigeon again, Trey. You said it perfectly there, the little head bobbing there. That's exactly what pigeons do when they're hungry. They're doing anything.
You're making a good argument.
Lee, you're killing our branding, man. We're all about the wedgies here. Now we call it
I'm
a
with
wedgie,
Uncle
man.
Ernie for this one.
Yeah, it's all about rhyming for me, and basically whatever Tass says goes. He's the expert.
Yeah.
It's right beside it. The wedgie is stuck between the rim and the backboard. You move over a half a foot, it's a ledgie. It's perfect.
And what did you call this, by the way? This is the entire ball stall family
This
here.
is the ball stall terminology, the ball stall nomenclature.
Okay.
When you got a ball stall question, save this on your phone, show it to your friends. This is a wedgie, this is a ledgie, this is a pigeon.
Yeah, I don't even blame Ernie Johnson. I think someone relayed that information incorrectly. I think that's
It's
what happened.
confusing.
I think
And
that's
we got the shout out.
Yeah,
That
you're
we're
right.
the ones who named that. There's been a lot of.
okay,
I mean, you
it's
want
okay.
it to be a pigeon.
yeah, I'm
it's
in, I'm
clear.
still in.
It's clear now.
Wedgie, pigeon. Done. All right, finally, last night on Game Time, guys, Hall of Famer Isaiah Thomas, he turned into an Australian. I swear to God, take a look here.
This is how you beat Golden State. You got to match up quickly in transition. You got to get them in a half-court game, and you got to defend the three-point line. And Portland has been very good at that. And Matt, that's what you call a very solid play.
I like that.
All right, well, 3D loves it. Atlanta loves it. Are you up or down on Zeke's Lee impersonation?
I'm up. Of course
Your
I'm
thumbs up.
Oh, I'm up.
Yeah. Zeke was great. Hey, when I was a 15-year-old kid, I used to pretend I was Isaiah in my driveway playing basketball. Last night, Isaiah was me.
Yeah, but here's the one problem.
Come true.
Less hairy, a less hairy version.
There was no play.
That's okay. That's right.
It doesn't matter?
He's a Hall of Famer. He can interpret it however he wants.
Yeah, Lee breaks his own rules all the time.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point. Shout out to Zeke. All right, gotta take a break. When we return, Thunder or Spurs? Who takes Game 5 and control of the series tonight? We'll break it down next. Back with the starters, we asked you, what are some more new words to describe Steph Curry's greatness? Because we're just, quite frankly, running out of words to describe him. You've hit us up on Twitter, #thestarters. Trey has a few of the best answers.
Yeah, Doug Schomer got academic with it, said Steph is creating a new basketball curriculum for others to try to learn from. Hard to say, but I love the word. Coco Marketing says Steph Curry, UPS, he's a unanimous playing sensation. He delivers. That's why you're in marketing. And Andrew Rivas says he's a bad mother Steffer. Shut your mouth.
I don't mind that.
You're damn right.
There it is. Keep tweeting us. What are some other new words to describe Steph Curry's greatness? Guys, one game on tonight, but it is a biggie. It's the Thunder and Spurs. Gets underway at 8 p.m. Eastern on TNT. Teams deadlocked at 2-2 in this best-of-7 series. Going at it at the AT&T Center in San Antonio. There's Russell Westbrook. Oh, we didn't get to see what Russell
guns
Westbrook
out.
was wearing
Yeah.
when he showed up to the arena. I'm sure it was amazing. Yep, guns are out, that's right. So he's getting ready for this one. Of course, Kawhi Leonard. So I'm very, very excited for this game. Obviously, a huge, pivotal Game 5. It always is when the teams are tied 2-2. But what do you guys think? Who takes control of this series tonight? Because seeing how important that Game 5 usually is.
Well, if OKC wants to win, I think they have to win this game because I doubt they're going to win a Game 7 in San Antonio. And if they want to win tonight, I think Russell Westbrook has to be that guy that he was in Game 4. A little bit of a reined-in Russell Westbrook that sets guys up. He was the assist man. He was running the plays. I think this just sort of forces him to think about the game a little bit more and not take all those crazy gambles. He played perfect defense on that key fourth quarter possession on Tony Parker right there. I believe because he's just a little bit more locked in. You know, you want to let Russell be free and go crazy and be that offensive rebounder and go dunk, but you also want him to run the offense. He had to implement some new wrinkles that Billy Donovan put in. He had 15 assists. He had more assists than points in this game. I feel like it just helps him think the game a little bit more, and I think that just helps their team a little bit more. That being said, I think the Spurs just win tonight. I think we're going to see a couple little wrinkles that they throw in that they haven't thrown in, and they take that home game. But if Russ plays like that, it's going to go down to the wire again.
We saw in games 1 and 2, LaMarcus Aldridge basically couldn't miss, averaged nearly 40 a game in those first 2 games. He cooled off a little bit in OKC. He was still good, but I think tonight the Spurs are going to go back to him and see if he can recapture what he had in those first 2 games. Why
I
not?
don't think the Thunder will be upset with that, though.
Yeah,
Well,
they're playing the Spurs
yeah.
kind of the way the Mavericks did in 2014. Back then it was pick and roll, make the 2 pick and roll guys beat you and don't let anybody else. Now it's just try and only let the post up guys score, and it's really taken the Spurs out of it. Kind of made them have to play Thunderball, which is not what the Spurs want to do.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, the Thunder obviously didn't turn up for game 1, and then game 2, they, when LaMarcus still had a big performance, they got a win out of that. But I think that if you're San Antonio and you're Greg Popovich, this is why you got LaMarcus Aldridge. So you want to go to him, you want to see if he can deliver for you because he's there for it, and he was so good in those first couple of games.
You wonder, though, because of they sort of are focusing on going to Aldridge, they're not sending a double. I think he's posted up something like 43 times in this series. The Thunder have sent a double 3 times. That's it. And all 3 times, actually, they didn't end up scoring. But it's weird to me as the ball movement has sort of gone away for the Spurs as this series has gone on. I mean, game 1, they were lights out, 39 assists. Games 2 and 3, 19, and then game 4, only 12. They are trying to get the Spurs to play a little Thunder-like basketball, but instead of Durant and Westbrook, it's LaMarcus Aldridge and Kawhi Leonard as you're sort of just, here's the ball, go to work. And, so far it's working, but huge game 5. We'll see what happens tonight. We got to take one more break, but when we come back, Lee does his best Isaiah Thomas impersonation with the very solid play. Don't go anywhere. Back with the starters, time for Lee's very solid play of the night. I can't imagine we're going to the Heat Raptors game. So
no, we are not. Check out the execution from the inbounds play here from the Warriors. Just perfect. Harrison Barnes, basically the ball goes back to where it was and he gets a wide open 3-pointer. Just perfect stuff here. It's almost a netball play too, but Steph does have a couple of dribbles there. Where's Harry Barnes? There he is. That's beautiful. That's what I call a very solid play.
It's a huge shot too.
You can call him Harry Bow, like you usually do. Harry Barnes is a little more acceptable. Now it's time for the highlight that wasn't, although this one fan on the left definitely thought it was a highlight. Josh McRoberts, he gets fouled in the low post. After the whistle, he takes it out on the rim, but this fan in the front row, well, he thought it was during play because he explodes. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Sit down, man.
Looking like the Ultimate Warrior.
Yeah.
Hold on, maybe he was just excited knowing that would be the highlight that wasn't.
Right. Exactly.
It's like, yeah, I'm going to see that tomorrow on the starters. All right, great stuff. One game on tonight, guys. Thunder Spurs, 8 p.m. Eastern on TNT. Series tied 2-2. Congratulations once again to Warriors superstar Steph Curry becoming the NBA's first ever unanimous MVP winner going back to back. So congrats to Steph on that. Enjoy the game tonight. Back tomorrow, 6:30 p.m. Eastern time here on NBA TV.
Thanks for joining us, folks. And remember, MVP trophies are a great dumbbell alternative for your hammer curls.
Yeah. Brace the night, people.